Welcome back to the channel, guys. And yes, guys, Koenigsegg have indeed broken not one but two new world records with none other than the Absolut, which is picking up world records one by one on its way to becoming the proper fastest car on the planet, like kids picking out candy on Halloween. Starting off with the proper first record, where the Absolut broke and set the new world record, where it clocked the fastest quarter mile time to ever be recorded by a proper internal combustion engine powered production car at a proper record time of 8.88 seconds. And to properly put that into perspective, the quarter mile time of a Chiron Super Sport stands at 9.6 seconds on it, so nearly a whole second slower, given with the fact that of course both of them put out the same amount of horsepower, 1600 horsepower, and of course with the fact that although the Chiron is properly half a ton heavier and has double the amount of turbos, it properly puts its power down through all four wheels, while the Absolut drives all the power through the rear wheels. And well, this on its own shows that the proper Absolut is a proper top speed oriented Swedish missile, and of course that is properly bonkers. But the other second world record is even more bonkers on its very own level, where of course the Absolut once again broke the world record and set the new world record, where it clocked the highest top speed to ever be recorded by a proper production car during the standing half mile, where of course the previous world record was held by none other than the Hennessy Venom F5 at a record speed of 357.14 kilometers an hour. And well, the Absolut has indeed broken that, where the new record has been clocked at 359.83 kilometers an hour by the Absolut. And of course both of these records were indeed set by none other than Koenigsegg's very own private test driver Marcus Lund, who was at the wheel. And well, guys, it is properly going a proper way of Koenigsegg on its own, where they're picking up records one by one on their way to becoming the fastest car on the planet with the Absolut, of course. And of course it's not only the car but also the driver who's powering it through, and that on its own, i.e. the proper world records themselves, are not only the proper mind-blowing fact on its own, because the way that they had announced that they had broken not one but two new world records is probably one of the most chill guy things you will ever see. I mean, Christian on Koenigsegg himself had properly randomly taken to Instagram, where he dropped a random post with the caption saying "Absolute madness, having fun in our backyard, casually setting new records." That is how CVK and Koenigsegg had properly unveiled to the world that they had properly cracked not one but two new world records. They had properly announced it like they do it on a regular basis, which they do. And well, that is just basically Koenigsegg doing Koenigsegg things. And well, let's just take a look at that post, where we will also see the proper Absolut on its double world record run. And well, here you go.
Hey guys, CVK here. We're out at the wonderful test track outside our factory in Ängelholm, and Marcus Lund behind the wheel of the Absolut. And let's see what he can do today. Here we go. So let's check out the draggy.
And well, yes guys, that shows that the proper Absolut is a proper top speed oriented missile for the road. But of course, if you thought the proper stats of the world records themselves were properly insane, well, the acceleration times put out by the Absolut during its double world record run themselves are as equally as insane as the world records themselves, where of course it went from 0 to 100 kmph in 2.79 seconds, given with the fact that it's got a 5-liter twin turbocharged V8 powering it with 1600 horsepower and 1500 newton meters of torque. With all of that power and torque going through the rear wheels, it still managed to put down a 0 to 100 km/h time in 2.79 seconds, which is of course very impressive. But the even more properly mind-blowing part is the fact that it went from 100 to 200 km/h in 2.74 seconds, faster than it got from 0 to 100. And well, that is just the level of engineering that Koenigsegg puts into their cars. And for the fact that this is production level, that also shows that the Absolute is indeed very much the proper top speed weapon that it is made out to be. And of course, it also went from 200 to 300 kilometers an hour in 3.96 seconds, where of course it clocked an overall time of 0 to 300 kilometers an hour in 9.5 seconds, which is also a world record, where the proper ESCO Absolute is officially the fastest proper internal combustion engine powered production car to properly clock 0 to 300 kmph in that time on its own, i.e. a world record of 9.5 seconds. And well guys, I mean, this on its own shows what Koenigsegg is all about, and for the fact that the complete proper surface is completely unprepped. They just randomly did this on a whim, and as you saw, the proper post on its own was just a random post dump by Christian on Koenigsegg, and well, they had casually broken not one but two world records. And well, the only explanation for this is that this is Koenigsegg doing Koenigsegg things. And well guys, with the fact that the complete proper surface was completely unprepped and that they most likely didn't use the best optimal tire, that on its own means that there is a lot of room, or at least some room, for improvement. Nevertheless, a massive hats off and a very big congratulations to the whole Koenigsegg team, and of course to Markus Lund and to Christian on Koenigsegg on these massive achievements. And well guys, I mean, what else could we say about Koenigsegg? I mean, they are picking off proper records on their way to properly clocking the fastest proper record, i.e. becoming the fastest car on the planet, with the ESCO Absolute taking the mantle. And well, they are properly looking to properly achieve that and more, as it's picking off records and adding more and more to its belt on its own, and that on its own shows the complete relentless approach that Koenigsegg is utilizing. And well, that on its own is absolutely admirable, and of course a massive hats off to you all once again. And well, what do you guys think about this? Comment below, and of course here's wishing you all good luck for the future world records. And well, thanks for watching guys. Remember to that sub button and click the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching guys. See ya.